Subscribe my channel and press bell icon to get all notification.
Hello students, now we will discuss the control of mitosis. So today we are going to discuss control of mitosis. As the cell has its own genetic material which is responsible for controlling the mitosis, means DNA है वही DNA decide करेगा कि कब cell को divide करना है. But besides this genetic material, there are some factors also which are responsible for controlling the mitosis, or we can say that these are the factors which stimulate or we give signals to the cells that it's time to divide, to do the mitosis division. So let's see what are these factors which are responsible for controlling the mitosis. The first factor is that is cell area to cell volume ratio. That is the first factor which is responsible for the mitosis, that is cell area to cell volume ratio. So now let's take an example to understand this concept, that how this affects the mitosis. Suppose we take a cell, हम एक सेल का एग्जांपल लेके चलते हैं, that one cell, this cell, first of all let's let you know that area is denoted by the square, or it is measured in the square, whereas the volume is measured into the cube. मेजर को हम क्यूब में मेजर करते हैं, वॉल्यूम को, सॉरी, वॉल्यूम इज मेजर इनटू द क्यूब. नाउ लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल. Here we have a cell, and this cell has its own length, breadth, and its height also. So the one cell which has a 1 centimeter, that is the length and breadth, means it's the length and width of the cell, that is the 1 centimeter. So we calculate the area of this cell, then we got that this cell, the area of this cell will be 1 centimeter square. The area of this cell will be 1 centimeter square, whereas the volume of this cell, इस cell का जो volume होगा, the volume will be 1 centimeter cube. The volume will be 1 centimeter cube. Now this cell has changed its size. Cell का size change हो रहा है, and now the cell increases by the 2 centimeter in its some expect like height or its length. यहाँ पे size जो change हो रहा है cell का, that is 2 centimeter. It's increase into the size. Now if we calculate the area, अब जो इस cell का जो area होगा, that is 2 centimeter multiplied by the 2 centimeter. So here we will get the area of this cell is the 4 centimeter square. We get the area of this cell is the 4 centimeter square, whereas the volume will be that 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, and it's the 8 centimeter cube. 8 centimeter cube. So this is the here in the two examples. Here we have calculated the area of the cell and then volume of the cell. Here also we calculated area of the cell and then volume of the cell. Here we take the ratio of this area and volume. The ratio will come 1 ratio will and 1. 1 ratio 1 means it's equal. But in this example, when we take the ratio will come 1 ratio 2. So here in this example, we can see that the ratio of the area is changed with the ratio of the volume. Means we can say that in this case, when the cells increases in the size of the cell increased, or we can say that the volume of the cell is increased, but the area is not increased so much. So this type of factors or these things stimulate the cells to divide by the mitosis. So this is the one factor which stimulate the cell for the cell division. Second example or second factor which we can say that is responsible for the controlling of mitosis is known as nucleocytoplasmic ratio. Nucleocytoplasmic ratio, or we can call it nucleoplasmic index. We can call it nucleoplasmic index. It is denoted as the NP. इसको NP से भी लिख सकते हैं. It's a nucleoplasmic index. As the name suggests, that is the ratio between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. So let's see what is this. In the normal cell, we know that in the normal cells, this is the cell and it has a nucleus, and around this nucleus the all part is filled with the cytoplasm. This is the normal condition. When this cell need to be divided, and during the cell cycle, after that it's passed through the interphase में जाएगी जहाँ पे G1 में growth होगा, and into the S phase. After G1, in the S phase, the cell will duplicate its DNA duplication होगा, DNA replication होगा. By this, the amount of the DNA, we can say that when the DNA duplication happens, the size of the nucleus will increase. The size of the nucleus will increase, and this increased nucleus size will not be supported by the cell. अब cell इस increase nucleus के size के साथ support नहीं करेगी. Here we can say that nucleus and the cytoplasm, that is the well able to stand, means एक दूसरे के साथ अच्छे से रह सकते थे, means यहाँ पे cell stable थी. But at this condition, where the size of the nucleus is increased, this condition is now not possible for the cell. So now cell will divide. Cell will do the division, and by this the nucleus will divide it into the two parts, and that's the factor which stimulate the cells for the mitosis. So we can say that this nucleocytoplasmic ratio or nucleoplasmic index is also responsible to stimulate the cell for the cell division or for this mitosis. Besides these two factors, there are some substances also which stimulate the cell for the mitosis, and the substances which stimulate the cell for mitosis, they are known as mitogens. So we can write the third, we can write here about the mitogens. What are the mitogens? Mitogens are the substances which stimulate the cell for mitosis. जो सेल को माइटोसिस के लिए स्टिमुलेट करेंगे, these substances are known as mitogen. Some substances, like we take the example, कौन से substances ऐसे हैं जो माइटोजन की तरह काम करेंगे? The first example we can take the cyclines. Cyclines, when we discuss that cell cycle, we discuss the process of cell cycle. In the cell cycle, some specific proteins are present, and these proteins are known as cyclines, which are responsible for the cell, which stimulate the cell for the cell division. So some specific proteins called cyclines are present in the cell during the cell cycle, which stimulate the cell for the mitosis. So example is cycline. Besides cyclines, some phytohormones like auxin, gibberellin, and cytokinin, which you have already studied in your previous classes. These are the some phytohormones. These phytohormones also stimulate the cell for the mitosis. So we can write the examples, that is the auxin, gibberellin, and the cytokinin. Cytokinin तो नाम से ही हमें पता चल रहा है, as the name suggests, cyto means cell and kinin means division. So these are the some phytohormones which stimulate the cell to divide. So we can call this that they behave like the mitogens. They are behaving like the mitogens. Besides these, insulin, the hormone insulin, is also work as a mitogen. Insulin भी जो होता है वो mitogen की तरह काम करता है. And with this we can add one more example, that high temperature. If the temperature increase, high temperature also stimulate the cell for the cell division. So we can say that these are the substances which are stimulating the cell to divide. They are giving the signal that it's time for the cell to divide and makes two daughter cells, and these substances are known as mitogens, like cyclines, some phytohormones like auxin, gibberellin, and cytokinin. In the case of animal, the insulin and the high temperature also behave like the mitogens. Here we discuss the control of mitosis. We discuss some factors which stimulate the cells to divide, or which give the signals that it's time to divide the cells. The first is cell area to cell volume ratio, and second factor is the nucleocytoplasmic ratio or nucleoplasmic index, and the third are some substances which are called mitogens. So these are some factors which control the mitosis. In the next video, we will discuss about the meiosis. So keep watching, keep studying, and keep learning. Thank you.